Hi, welcome to BoringSales. I'm Diego Mangabeira. I'm fractional head of sales and also a sales tech architect. And I have a lot of experience, and I'm going to navigate with you inside the sales environment, this atmosphere that leveraged us to not just delivering results, right, as a salesperson, but also to learn more, to achieve new goals every single day, right? And I named this methodology as boring sales because it's the least sexy word that word in business, right? Boring is something not so cool, but I'm being really honest with you because that's this podcast, this video, this methodology, this format exists, and I was reviewing this type of methodology before I created, and I was reviewing an experience that I had with a SaaS client of mine and some outbound numbers with them. They had a solid product. They had a smart team as well. Every tool imaginable, right? They didn't have any problem with budget or even with the team. They had a global team as well. Many people, the right product for the right audience, but their pipeline was a really mess. And they could, for instance, just to share with you some numbers, some weeks they could book 40 meetings, but on the other weeks they were only booking 3 meetings. Okay, so from 40 to 3 meetings. And I asked their head of sales that time, "What's your cadence?" And he had no answer. So because of that, no cadence, no rhythm, just hustling, just hustle, which looks like energy for everything but functions like chaos. And they weren't failing because of the talent of technology. They were delivering. For them, that was not a problem at all. But if we interpret, if we are going further, if we're understanding everything, they were failing because nobody has built on this case the boring part. And boring on this case, what does that mean? It means same outreach type, same buyer profile, same ICP, same persona, but in the same days, every single week. But you're going to measure it obsessively, right? Boring is like those Monday mornings where you already know who you are calling, or what you're saying, what success looks like by Friday, okay? And most of the sales guys, they run from it, right? They like just to move things, change every single day. But when we're talking about boring, a pipeline doesn't surprise you because you build it intentionally. You have the control. And every single book that I read, every single podcast that I listened, every single video, training video that I watched, they were just compelling us to change, right? And that's okay. But when we are going professionally saying, and I work with sales since 2005, so for me it's like more than 20 years already. So imagine that we are denying the elephant in the room, right? In your living room, right? Most of the days we're not going to be high adrenaline, I'll say high performance, right? It's not going to be that way. Most of the days are going to be boring, and why we're denying those boring days. That's why everything makes sense now. The opposite boring isn't excitement or exciting, is random. You need to flew away from random, right? Because random doesn't scale, and everybody's doing random things, random AI, random technology, random things. We need to hire this professional. We need to do this because the other competitors did that, right? It's like a random means something, but doesn't scale. And in terms of my tracking record, just to share with you, I closed more than 1.2 million in SaaS revenue, closed also more than 650K outreach touch points. And I'm not saying that as just numbers, but as experience, not just with the US or even Europe, EMEA, Latam, APAC, or Australia, New Zealand. But I work globally, and when we're analyzing all the numbers, the way that salespeople operate, we need to think that strategically, tactically, and also operationally. And we are doing that. We are going to see that none of the wins came from a magic sequence or a viral post. It's not going to be that way. If you want that, it's okay. It's like a make-believe in sales. Boring sales is not like that. It's real sales, real world, right? You can touch it, you can see it, you can hear it every single day. And those days are being denied by everyone. And that's why I created Boring Sales. It doesn't make any sense just to create excitement or to go to those trainings or seminars just to go like that, jumping from the ground, and that's it. This is sales, right? Or this is marketing. This is GTM. This is the new tool that I'm using AI to do this. Or vibe coding. It's okay to use all of it. But when we are touching the ground with our feet, barefoot, right? Bare feet, you can see that everything makes sense when you are thinking that the real world, and we are denying this real world from everybody, right? They came from the same disciplined system week after week until the math worked. This is boring, right? Boring builds 7-figure pipelines, and that's real. That's the real world, right? And in terms of background, just to share a little bit about my experience. I worked 7 years at IBM, at 3M as well, in strategic sales, covering different regions from the US. I worked with the East region, Central, also in West, so different states, different languages, I'll say. It's not just English, as you know, but I'll say different approaches and different types of job titles, or how we can interact with a global presence and interact with a global team. Now we're talking about hybrid ways of doing the work, or even remote teams, how we can handle it, right? I have also experience in consulting, SaaS companies, AI companies, LLM, we could ML teams as well, any type of technology. I'm from the tech, right? I work with tech since 2008, so it's been more than 18 years already across US, mostly in Latin, Europe as well. And one obsession that I always had inside myself was why do some teams consistently hit quota, right? Sales quota in this case, while others with equal talent constantly miss that quota, right? What we are missing here? That was my question. The answer was never the CRM, never the AI tool, or even the product. Those are, I'll say, the triangle that everybody thinks about. So CRM, AI tool, or even the product. It was always the architecture underneath. So we're talking about ICP definition. So ideal client profile, ideal client persona. It was related to the cadence design, how your sales funnel is structured, or even how you think on a way that you can create like a SOP, a formatted design from your cadence, sales cadence. Pipeline visibility. Is everybody aware of your sales process? Not just the sales team, but the marketing, the finance, the operations, the CEO, the CTO, the CFO, head of AI. I don't know. I don't know how your team operates, but as you know, we need to be well aware. So clarity is something that nobody's talking about. I went to Harvard Business School also to study that with data science, so statistics, math, everything related to it. Behind those numbers, to see that intuitively. Okay, so doing a lot of calculation to understand why the sales team worldwide are not using boring sales to perform. Okay, what the data confirmed once I worked and I studied at Harvard: predictable inputs produce predictable outputs. So that's the real reason that why I'm here as well talking to you. Boring inputs, boring outputs, and predictable revenue. I can even repeat for you. Boring inputs is equal to boring outputs. That's equal to predictable revenue. So that's why I cannot stop calling it a system. Start calling as it is, right? What it is, boring sales. So this podcast is for sales professionals, marketing professionals, as I said, or even people that are interested, CEO, founders, C-level, VPs as well. In every episode, we're going to bring you a concept, a framework, technical insight that might be helpful and applicable for your week, for your day, for your team, for your product, for your technology. I don't know, right? Everything that you're doing. So no fluffy, no theory without application, no guest selling you something like that. But as you know, we're going to talk to you about just the boring stuff that actually works. If you want predictable pipeline, predictable format, or even process, right, that works on rhythm, discipline, and data, you are on the right place. So this is it. This is Boring Sales. I hope you like this first episode that we're recording for you, that we are sharing with you. You can watch, you can listen, you can sense now. And if you have any comment that you'd like to share, you can also use the comments right here. And I would just ask you to subscribe to this podcast or even to this channel, whatever you are right now in the world, or even using the technology that you're using now. We would like your support as well. I wish you a great day. We see each other here in BoringSales. Have a nice day. Bye. Take care. Cheers.